Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning and welcome to our first non-standard car and van presentation. Firstly, let me start by just introducing myself and briefly our panel. So I'm Anne-Trace Cromwell. I'm Strategic Account Manager for a lot of the national accounts here at ERS. I'm joined by Dave Burnett, Product Manager, and Steve Simpson, Senior Underwriter. So today we're going to talk through the ever-changing markets, the playing field, the conditions, what your customers' expectations are. We're going to talk about claims inflation, our journey and our appetite. We'll also be leaving absolutely loads of room for questions at the end, which Steve and Dave will be thrilled to run through with you. So please pop them into the question section and we'll ask them at the end of the session. So sit back, relax, turn off all other programs so you make sure you get the maximum bandwidth and you can hear us all the way through. And I'll pass you over to Dave to start running with it. Thanks,
Brilliant.
Dave.
Thank you very much. Morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining. So I'm Dave. I'm the product manager within the retail class, or in the non-standard class. I've been with the business for about 8 years, or just over 8 years, working with a few teams, but starting life now in our high-risk underwriting team. Now reside within this class, which includes both our non-standard car and non-standard van products, which I'll be talking through today. As Anne-Trace mentioned, we have Steve on the call as well. He's our senior underwriter within the class, and with his breadth of knowledge, he'll be chipping in with the Q&A at the end. So there's a few things to cover today, but I wanted to kick things off initially with a bit of a market update, which I'm sure everyone is seeing as well. So this slide, quite a lot on here, but I think it does a really good job of just pulling together some of the headlines that we've seen in the market and the things that are impacting us at the moment. So I think safe to say it's definitely been interesting this year. Safe to say we've definitely seen some instability in the market with a number of changes happening. We've had insurers exiting lines of business, some insurers exiting personal lines altogether. On top of that, we've had claims inflation, remains top of mind for everyone, I'm sure. And just to put some numbers on that, we're seeing figures such as 9% on repair costs or vehicle repair costs, 10% on credit hire costs, 20% on care costs when there's bodily injury involved, 14% on car parts. So everything's on the up. Vehicle availability as well. Still a struggle. That's definitely been pushing used car prices up, and then in general just cost of parts has been seeing an increase. There's also more electric vehicles entering the market, seeing big increases there, and again with vehicle values for EVs as well pushing up as well. All of that and others leads to the massive rate increases that we're seeing today in the market. Now, I think it's safe to say that the rates needed, given some of the market results we've seen in the most recent years. However, it does put more pressure on the overarching cost of living crisis, and it is causing people to shop around some more. Now, I wanted to just pause here for a second. Now, I wanted to throw it over to our listeners or our viewers with a quick poll. So I wanted to just ask, have you been affected by any of the following market conditions? You can select one or more, so whether that's insurers exiting markets, vehicle thefts, claims inflation, cost of living, and then there's an option for other as well. One thing I will just ask, if you're answering other, please do use the chat function to answer within there what that relates to. I'll just give probably about 20 seconds for that to run through, and then we can show the results. A few more seconds. Brilliant. So here's the results. So pretty even split between cost of living, shopping around, and insurers exiting the market. Interesting. Okay, thank you very much for that. Brilliant. So now I think we'll move on to ERS and in particular the journey that our non-standard car and van products have been on over the last couple of years. So back in 2018 and 19, we moved both our core retail car and van products onto insurer-hosted pricing. That allowed us to make changes in-house and then quicker than before. And then we also introduced our first iteration of data enrichment, which allowed us to validate risks at point of quote, and then confidently grow the class into what it is today. And then in more recent years, we've continued to invest in the products with the introduction of a new rating engine or new rating platform or data science platform, which again builds on what we achieved back in 2018, 2019, allowed us to make changes even quicker, but also to ingest all of the experience from products that historically were traded manually. So I mentioned at the beginning, I started life on our high risk underwriting team, a class of business that was written generally manually by an underwriter. We've now taken on a platform that allows us to ingest that information, and with the aim and the goal for both our car and van products to expand those products into those non-standard segments. In June 2021, we released new policy wordings, number of enhancements such as increased EU cover, and some other bits, some other specific bits around electric vehicles and liability when vehicles are being charged as well. In June 2022, we then launched ERS Car, which is our remodeled, redone pricing capability, our widened non-standard appetite, which then kind of dipping our toe into those high-risk areas, bits on classics and things like that. And then I guess since then, we've been on a bit of a quest to expand our appetite even further and also our distribution further. So a couple of key things that we've done in the last couple of years. So ERS Car was made available to actuaries and applied brokers in May and June. We expanded our young driver appetite in May. We opened up to provisional license holders more recently in August. We reviewed our high risk appetite this month, and we'll be going live this week, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. And then there's also plans to review the vehicle value appetite, entering into higher vehicle values within car, and then also launch our van product onto Actress by the end of the year as well. So I guess the next slide is why ERS. So I guess despite the instability that we've seen in the market, we've been pretty stable. We've got cover that both you as brokers and your clients can trust, rated excellent on Trustpilot. We've built products that can provide cover for the more non-standard segments of the market. So the aim being to expand car and van further in the future on what we've already done. Non-standard car and van, both backed by a team of experienced underwriters. So although it's not referral business, it's not manual business, and it's software house driven or software house priced, we've got a team of underwriters behind the product, using their experience and their knowledge to build out a product that's suitable. And we're also backed up by a fantastic claim service team as well. We can offer instant quotes via the key software houses, and again, that's backed by a specialist experience and our new pricing models. And we also have breakdown available across a range of vehicles, not just car and van, which is available open market on our e-trade platform, which I'll cover a little bit later as well. Cool, so moving on to our product offering and more specifically our appetite. So looking at car first of all, we've split this into two sections. So we've got the client side and the vehicle appetite as well. So on the client profile side, we will cover drivers from 17 to 80-year-olds at new business, expanding that up to 85 years old on MTAs and renewals. We've expanded our acceptability for clients with claims and convictions. So that includes drivers with previous bans. And we're also able to protect no claims bonus from just 1 year. I mentioned earlier that we've reviewed our high risk appetite as well within this product. So this month we'll be launching a new appetite which expands our upper age limit to 90 on new business. We've widened our claims and conviction appetite even further. We'll no longer do single bans. That's now going to be 2 bans with some restrictions as well. On the vehicle side, so we can cover vehicles up to £100,000. We've got no limit on vehicle age. We will look at modified vehicles up to 3 modifications. And now we do a broader range of vehicles as well. As I mentioned, we're ingesting data. Well, we've ingested data from historic products, which has allowed us to look at not just everyday car, but also classics as well. So on top of that appetite, we've made some enhancements when we released our new policy wording, such as extended EU cover, so up to 90 days per trip, personal belongings cover, and also the liability relating to charging cables when vehicles are being charged as well. Moving on to van. So the current appetite, so in similar format as the car one, so we'll cover drivers between 23 and 75. We'll do UK or EU license holders, anywhere from 0 no claims bonus, and we'll accept no claims bonus from either a van or a car as well now. On the vehicle side, it's 3.5 tonne maximum for vans between 0 and 15 years old, and vehicle values between £1,000 and £35,000. This slide is smaller than car. The aim and the goal is to expand this further and follow a very similar trajectory as we have seen in car as well. And then similar to car, we have some benefits at the bottom, including the EV cable liability as well. Cool. So now I just want to ask a second question to everyone. So which areas do you struggle with when placing business online or within a software house market? Is that young drivers, drivers with claims or convictions, whether that's driving convictions or non-motoring convictions, higher value vehicles, business cars, and again, other, if you select other, if you wouldn't mind posting in the chat what that is, that'd be really helpful for us. Again, I will leave that for about 20-30 seconds, just allow everyone to answer. Fantastic, we'll get the results. Okay, interesting. So the highest one is young drivers, which is interesting because we've now expanded our young driver appetite. So we'll now do 17-year-olds and business car as well. Got a couple in others. So if anyone could just type out what those other areas are, that'd be really helpful. Cool. So next up, we have how we trade non-standard car and van. So I mentioned before, so we're available on all the key software houses, so SSP, OpenGI, CDL, Applied and Actress on car, Applied now has van, and Actress will be, or van will be available on Actress as well later on this year. We're also available via Peers, which is our API solution or plugin to ERS. And then I also just wanted to highlight the quote lifecycle with the graphic on the right. So essentially, when you're requesting a quote on a software house, on your software house of choice, each risk will be run through our IHP. It will run through our appetite rules. It will then be validated against our data enrichment. So currently have Experian, and we will be expanding that further as well for further protection to both us and our brokers as well. Be passed through our new rating platform, or new data science platform, priced and returned to you instantly. Cool. So moving on, we have the team. So mentioned we have a team of experts behind the products, and just to put some faces to names, this is the team that I am working in. So we have Suraj. He's the head of class for non-standard. He's been overlooking the journey, or overlooking the business since the start of its journey, really. Myself as the product manager, so joined the team early 2021. We have Steve, who's also on the call, senior underwriter on the team within the class. He's been at the company for around 15 years, massive breadth of knowledge and understanding of other areas, similar to myself, worked in other areas or other classes of business, so really valuable there. We have Kerry Jones, who actually joined our team last week as an underwriter. She started life in our underwriting operations team, and really good understanding of the product that we're selling here. And then we have Luke and Ilias, who are both our performance analysts, looking at data and helping us support us in our journey to become, or to be, non-standard and offer these products to market. Okay, then finally, I just wanted to cover a little bit on breakdown. I am the breakdown product manager as well, so it seemed fitting for me to cover it. So we have a breakdown product that's available open market on eTrade. We also have it available on a bordereau. This is for like larger schemes, larger opportunities. We've got 4 different levels of cover available. So that's ranging from your roadside only, more basic cover, all the way up to our total UK and European cover, which includes breakdown for breakdowns in Europe. It's on a wide range of vehicles. They're all listed on the left-hand side, but that's anything from your standard cars and vans that will be trading within the retail class, all the way up to prestige vehicles, supercars, electric vehicles, and even horse boxes for total UK cover as well. As standard, we cover for misfueling, lost keys, and vehicles that are stuck in mud, flood, snow and ice. And I think the really nice thing about this product is it's standalone, so it can be sold alongside an ERS motor policy that you've sold, but it definitely doesn't have to be. As a standalone, it can be sold on its own as well. Brilliant. That was everything I was going to cover. I'll be handing back over to Anne-Therese.
Thanks, Dave. I think that was really interesting, and I love the polls as well. So the market conditions and the exiting and having to shop around sounds like a real challenge for our brokers, and that's certainly what we're hearing when we're talking to you guys. And I think the young driver solution's fantastic coming in, just as everybody's saying it's a difficult era, but I'm really excited to see what comes for van over the next sort of 12 months as that develops into car, with everything else coming onto car. So thank you for that. Before we head into questions, so please get typing and pop those into the question box as we're speaking. I just wanted to make you aware that we've had some brilliant sessions over the last couple of weeks, and they're all available on our website as recordings. We've still got the enthusiast motor, so everything classic, kit, motorhome, all of that's happening Wednesday the 27th, and schemes and affinities, all our sort of specialist areas is happening on Thursday the 28th, so please sign up for those if you're available. So moving on to any questions, I've got a couple, Dave, that have come through, and as I said, please keep asking them if you've got them. So you did touch on it in the presentation, but I've had the question, when will van be available on Acturis? Do we have a go live? Are we nearly there?
Yeah, so it's testing at the moment. The aim is to release it into a pilot in October. So we, fingers crossed, will be ready for go live probably early November.
Brilliant.
And
Thank you very much.
That'll be on the current appetite as well.
Fantastic, thank you. And Heather's asked us, can you explain how the 1 year no claims bonus protection works? What's that?
Yeah, so it should be available on your software house. So from if you enter 1 year's bonus, and not too au fait with how each and every software house works, but you should be able to select protection, and the scheme shouldn't decline for that. Steve, I don't know if you've got anything to add on that.
No, it's as simple as that, really. So the NCD protection benefit is the same for 1 year as it would be for now 2 years, 3 years in the past, as it would have been only for 4+ years. It allows the client to have one fault claim within the policy period without any step back to their NCD. If we have 2 fault claims within the policy period, then the NCD does get a step back.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Mark has asked, do you cover kit cars on ERS car?
Probably one for you, Steve.
Yeah, that sounds like it's up my street. Yeah. The answer at the moment is no, because at the moment we decline Q-plated vehicles, of which the vast majority of kit cars are registered, and also the majority of kit cars would not have a true ABI vehicle code assigned to them. However, we have been working on, literally in the past couple of weeks actually, a pipeline of around a couple of dozen niche and non-standard areas to look at kind of assessing how complex they would be to enter into as a segment in terms of underwriting rules, pricing rules, and also what the size of the prize is. But Q-plated is on that list. So not just kit cars, but any car on a Q plate, and also non-ABI coded vehicles, because I believe that certainly within the segment of non-ABI coded vehicles, there's very little in terms of placement opportunities on software houses for that business, unless you have schemes with insurers that permit it and have rules on selection of which dummy vehicle code to pick, for example. So in terms of our strategy, that really does fit. It's quite obviously an area where there'll be very little competition in the market, and therefore, in theory, lots of margin for us. But that's a really good question. Thank you.
Sounds quite exciting as well that we've got all this coming and we're kind of looking at it. We do in the business at the moment, we do have the availability to write kit cards on enthusiast product. I mean, that's a bit more, that's on the eTrade portal or a little bit more manual. So if there's any kit cards that you are looking to cover, Mark, or anybody else on the call, then please do reach out to your sales person, your RDM or BDSE, and we'll be happy to point you in the right direction. But I think, Steve, just to hear that we've listen to what's missing in the market and we're taking a look at it. It's really exciting for this product. Thank you. I've got one from Maxine. Does the young driver's policy require a black box?
No, we don't do telematics within the class. So, yeah, if it quotes for a 17, 18, 19-year-old on the scheme, yeah, nothing else needs fitted.
Fantastic. And then even I can answer this one. This is great. So Nicola has asked, is non-standard car available on Actress now or will be by the end of the year? You should have it, Nicola. If you don't have it, please speak to one in the sales team. If you don't know who it is, you can sort of reach out to one of us, or you'll find the team on the website and we'll be able to get your office sorted out for it. Brilliant. Any more questions? Give you a couple of minutes. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this morning. I think that was great. Thanks, Dave and Steve, for all your run through and for the questions there. Please don't forget to sign up to any of the other presentations that are coming up that might be of interest. And as always, follow us on LinkedIn, because that is where most of the information on our products, what we feel is going on in the motor market, or any sort of insights we might have will be shared as well. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.